So you want to use work gloves as motorcycle gloves, and you need them to fit better and have a curvature to them. I'm going to show you how to do it really easily and free. Full disclaimer here, I'm not advocating the use of work gloves for motorcycle use. You figure that out for yourself, but this is what I do. This operation will work for high-end work gloves. These are Kevlar stitched 1mm lamb's leather, lamb skin, whatever you want to call it, just as thick, if not thicker, than motorcycle gloves. This will work for this type of glove. It'll work for just about any work type of glove, even the $9.99, I guess some folks call these gardening gloves. I would not use this on your $300 motorcycle gloves. You shouldn't need to, but there's things built into those that you don't want to wreck. But this is pretty much the process. So when most of these gloves come to you, these have a slight curvature to hold a tool built into them, but it's not probably quite enough for a motorcycle. But if you look at these have gone through the process, and they have a curvature to them. The fingers are kind of a little messed up right now, but they do have a curvature to them, as much as any motorcycle glove would. But they make it more comfortable. I mean, even the creases in your fingers show up, things like that, just to make it more comfortable, and it also helps to hold them onto your hand. You may have to repeat this process a couple of times to get them to exactly where you want, and if they get really soaked in a ride in the rain or something like that, or if they get real sweaty, you may have to do it again, but if you let them dry on your hands, that will help too. You want to make sure you have a good warm day to start this process. You want to make sure that it's really warm, dry if possible. I know a lot of people live in humid climates. Arizona is the perfect place for this because nearly every day during the summer is over 100 degrees and probably 10 or 15% humidity. But whatever you got, you live with. But I would make sure that you're over 70 or 80 degrees and make sure that you have a long enough ride, like 100 miles or 50 miles or whatever your candy ass will support. So these are gauntlet style gloves. I don't want to affect this. You may want to. I want to keep these a little bit drier. You could make it so if they were a little bit too tight for your sleeves, you could wet them and then put them over your sleeve. Make sure that your sleeve material isn't going to be affected by the water. But what you essentially want to do is just get your hose bib, turn that on, and give them a generous dosing of water. I'm going to fill both of them up. I'm not doing a very good job here. I'm trying to keep everything in camera frame, and so for right now, I'm just going to let that soak in for a second. You want them to get good and wet right through. So dump that water out, make sure it's all out. Now, if your gloves are dyed like these are, and most of these work gloves are dyed, it's going to get on your hands. So if you're a little queasy about that, I don't know what you want to do. Maybe put some latex gloves in there, but that's going to affect the fit. If you're allergic to latex, then maybe find something else. But this is the process. So you want to make sure that the outside is nice and wet. You want to soak these really, really good. Probably the toughest part of this whole operation is getting your gloves on your hand. There you go, kind of like the good old O.J. Simpson deal. If it fits, you must acquit. Or if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves here so I don't get the dye. on my riding shirt. You want to make sure that each finger gets pushed in. Cinch it into the crooks of your fingers. Just mash it down as much as you can. You want to form fit it as much as you can right to your hands. Maybe drain out a little bit more of the water. Get a good feel, make sure that you're just working it in. Now through the ride, you kind of want to do the same thing as you get off the bike or get on the bike. You want to make sure that you redo that process, push everything down, mold it over your fingers, because what's going to happen is these are going to shrink and form fit right to your hands. Yep, just this is your duty for today. Just keep everything working as much as you can. And these have incredibly long thumb deals, and I'm hoping that they'll shrink up, but I'm trying to get that top portion of it pushed down as much as I can and stretched over my hand, trying to move as much of that material down as I can, and just keep working the fingers and working back and forth like this. Every time you stop is just like I said, it's your duty for today. And these are getting pretty close. They're still pretty wet, let me tell you, but they're not as soaked as they were before. But it's probably going to take overall maybe 2 hours to get this done, but I'm 100 degrees and 10-15% humidity, so it's going to be vary by your location. And you don't want to miss the palms. You want to make sure that as you're pushing it in, you're pushing down the backs of the gloves, and you're rolling your fist into the other fist. And these will keep everything tight to your hands and form-fitting to your hands. A couple of notes when you're doing this with your gloves. If your trip is shortened for temporarily or for the day, for whatever reason, number one, do not leave your gloves in the sun. it will probably not fit back on your hands. Now look where you're going, old lady. Anyway, you gotta make sure that you don't leave them in the sun, because they will shrink up without your hands being in them and go beyond what you want. And the second thing is, if your day is shortened and you get home or whatever, again, don't leave them in the sun or in a place out in the open. Find a nice cool dark place like a closet or something like that, and make sure that you kind of keep that shape that you want. It's not optimal, but it'll keep it from getting messed up. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through this little ride here, and I can already, just relaxing my hand, I can already see shape coming in. It's just like almost the natural position is right on the handlebars, so it's starting to take shape, and they are starting to feel like the fingers and thumbs are fitting much better. The palms are still a little bit loose and may need some more work. Like I said, you probably need to do it maybe once or twice, but you need to, the second time, your final time, you want to make sure that you do it correctly. You don't want to have to do it again and mess up all the work that you did the first time. So for all you naysayers out there that say that this doesn't work and that there's no curvature or effect from this and they don't form fit your hands, well, my gloves hang on to the grips by themselves. And you can even see they have taken on the exact shape of my hand. This stuff will work. Well, let me show you what we're working with here and the results. They still can hang on to the bars by themselves. Like I showed you earlier, these have contoured to themselves or to my hands just like the original ones. And they are very comfortable. I just kept working them just like I showed you. And to prove that the original ones have kept their shape after a few months, they too can contour to the bars just like the other ones. They are well shaped just like the new pair that we just did. Well, I hope that helps you. I'm going to link the initial review for these gloves, but these will work with any gloves that you feel comfortable with riding. And like I said, you probably want to keep away from doing that with real motorcycle gloves. They've got treatments and things that are in the leather that may be affected by the water. So it's up to you. You figure it out. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you watching. Adios.